Hi everyone, this is Anindita, and I made this video specifically to address the question of whether to go in for a Reiki online class or a Reiki live class. Well, I teach both live classes as well as live online webinars, and to me, the experience is pretty much the same. The only difference being that in online webinars, I don't see the people face to face, and in the live classes, I get to meet everybody personally. So, other than that, from my point of view, the experience is not really too different. As far as the attunements are concerned, in a live class, I will do the attunements while the person is physically present with me. In an online webinar, I would do it via distance. But it doesn't really make much of a difference. In fact, it doesn't make any difference at all whether the attunement is being done over distance or face to face. As far as the effectiveness of the attunement or the energy is concerned, it is absolutely the same. The only difference is really in the perception of the receiver. So if the receiver has a belief system that makes a person feel that it is better to get an attunement face to face rather than getting in by distance, that would be the only thing that would make any difference. Otherwise, the energy does the exact same work. Apart from that, while deciding whether you want to sign up for an online class or a live class, there might be a couple of factors that you want to keep in mind. Of course, if cost is a big factor, many times it is cheaper to do a live interactive online webinar, because in an online class, the teacher does not have to travel anywhere, the teacher does not have to rent out space for conducting the classes. So as a result, the cost of conducting the class is much lower than a live class where a conference room has to be rented out, and sometimes even there might be some travel costs uh, that has to be incurred. So that is one of the reasons why live webinars are much cheaper. So if cost is a big issue, then you might want to sign up for an online webinar. Another thing is travel. Sometimes Reiki classes are not really happening very close to your home. You might have to travel to another state or another city, and that might be an additional hassle, maybe additional, time and energy, waste of time and energy both. So some people enjoy traveling. Some people enjoy the idea of traveling to a class and meeting new people and making new friends. For them, a live class may be the perfect thing. But when traveling too much for a long distance is not really an option, when you would travel less, when you want the class to be from the comfort of your own home without incurring the additional expense of traveling and maybe even staying out somewhere, then a Reiki webinar may be the best option, because, as I said before, the energy is equally effective over distance. Time and distance does not in any way dilute the energy, whether it is a Reiki healing session or whether it is an attunement. It is exactly the same way. So it is really the only one factor that is missing in a webinar could be the face-to-face interaction. But as far as the live webinar is concerned, you still do get to interact with the teacher as well as the other participants of the webinar. So if you want to make new friends, if you want to discuss your feelings after an attunement or after a healing session, you can always go ahead and discuss and get your answers, your questions answered, and make new friends even on a online webinar. The only difference being that you may not be seeing the person face to face. So if seeing somebody face to face, if being in that physical environment is important for you, then live class may be your best option. On the other hand, if you want to save on the cost, and maybe sometimes people have some family responsibilities, they may not be able to leave home on that particular weekend. So if you want more flexibility and attend a class for less cost and avoid the hassle of traveling, then an online class might be what really would work for you. So, as far as the healing session is concerned, in a live class, people get to practice healing on each other. On online class, you get to practice more of self healing. So that could be another difference. In an online class, the way I do my online Reiki interactive webinars, I do a guided meditation where I guide people step by step in a step by step manner to do a complete body healing session on themselves. In the live classes, I don't do any kind of step by step guided meditation for self healing. Instead, there is a Reiki healing circle where people share the Reiki energy with each other. So that is the primary difference between uh, a live Reiki webinar versus a live class. So it is really your own preferences or choice or your own belief system around whether or not you should be signing up for a Reiki class online or whether you should go and attend a live class. In fact, some people attend maybe one level online, maybe one level live, or sometimes what they do, they attend all the three levels first online, and later on when I'm in their city, they might even attend the same class live just to see the difference for themselves. So it really depends on what your priorities are and how much budget you have set aside for learning Reiki. It is a question of all these things.